OFWs, or Overseas Filipino Workers, have been the backbone of many sectors in the Philippine economy. The value of their services make a huge difference, especially in times when the country is experiencing slow economic growth. According to Statistica Research Department, an estimated 676,000 Filipino workers were deployed overseas, a 69% drop from the previous year. Currently, there are about 2.2 million OFWs working abroad, and while the majority of those deployed are domestic workers and helpers, there are also an increasing number of other professionals who are leaving the Philippines for greener pastures elsewhere. We don't have to even go any further, as our very own co-host, Doc Tiane, is by all intents and purposes an OFW. And in this episode, we will be talking about his experiences as an OFW.
OFW is a new term, di ba? Iba yung tawag before.
OCW,
OCW. What does the C
Overseas
mean?
Contract Worker.
Okay.
Hindi
So,
ko lang
kailan
alam kung when pinalitan.
Okay.
Di ba?
Kailan? Kailan siya
Kailan daw,
pinalitan?
G?
Hindi tayo marinig. Nag-stop
Niya
siya.
pa yung teleprompter.
Nire-research pa niya. Nire-research pa niya.
Hindi tumigil.
Okay. Ako, very curious ako. Always been curious about how do you... Kasi yan nga, yung madalas naisip natin to go somewhere else, di ba? How do you start? How do you begin even the process?
Good question. Pero I think every different people has their different reasons. But one of the factors would be, of course, there's more money working outside the Philippines. As for example, just recently there's like a Twitter post, or I think it's TikTok, but someone said that if you want to make money, you can get a job like as a transcriptor from one of the sites, and then you go to a different site na meron mga transcriptor from the Philippines. So parang ang rate is, I forgot how much is the rate. Parang ibabayad sa'yo is around $5, $10, parang gano'n. Nakalimutan ko yung rate, sorry.
Okay.
Pero once na sa Pilipinas, parang ang rate is like $1.50 or something.
Wow.
So basically, ipapasa mo sa kanila, basically outsourcing.
Oo.
So ipapasa mo yung trabaho sa mga Tagalog. So wala kang gagawin. Kumikita ka ng pera, which is really sad. But to answer the question, I think one of the reasons, if not the top reasons, is mas malaki talaga yung pera. Like if I'm gonna be doing my job in the Philippines and then compared to like somewhere else, it can be a little bit bigger. It can be like way bigger than what we're getting. But as for me, iba kasi yung yung main factor ko or yung main reason is that I started working 2008, like after I graduated. Nagpahinga lang ako saglit after boards. I think a month, and then I started working. I stayed with my previous company for around 7 years. And then all of a sudden, a friend of mine, actually a coworker of mine, said, uy, may magtatayo ng hospital sa Hong Kong, and then they're looking for people na can start with them. So ako parang, okay. And then the lineup of the doctors are like really good, and some of them went to the Philippines to do like seminars. So I've met some of them and I've seen their seminars, and they're really, really great. So parang ako parang, oh, yep, that's a chance for me to learn more. Of course, I mean, marami pa din naman learning opportunities sa Philippines, but basically like in a different setting. Kasi like for example, like CT scan and then MRIs, and you're working with a specialist. So parang, kasi basically wala talagang specialist sa Pilipinas eh. You have your colleges of like different, kasi as you all know, I'm a vet. So there are like different colleges for like different animals. So like there's college for swine, so for pork
Okay.
production, and then different naman for so mga practitioners for different
So,
animals.
parang sa tao din pala, like, you have
Oo.
the specialties nila, ortho,
Yes.
pedia. Okay.
Pero wala talagang specialty sa Pilipinas. Like dito, like small animals, so you have your
Mm-mm.
dogs and your cats, but they
Mm.
have their specialty as well. So you have your cardiologist for small animals, you have your surgeon talaga for small animals, ophthalmologist, so on and so on. So parang, oh, this is a learning experience. Parang to dive deeper in
Mhm.
the field of medicine. So yun talaga yung main, yun yung naging main factor. Plus sabi ko, if I'm gonna go to Hong Kong, at least malapit lang. So parang sabi ko, sige, I'll try na makapasok. And na makapasok naman tayo. So yun. Of course, yes, money is way bigger. But yun nga, but my main reason is I'm gonna learn. And it's a challenge also to be in a different country as well.
Mm.
So which is fun. Kasi I've never been outside of the country ever.
I think it's fun pag medyo bata-bata ka pa. Kasi yung
I
culture shock,
Hmm.
the culture shock,
But
I think is it's one of the things that we take for granted na malapit lang kasi dyan lang yan. Ganun. But there's still a different culture than ours. So if you're a little bit younger, you can adjust easier, better, I guess. Pag medyo set in your ways ka na, parang mas mahirap na. But I guess may mga matatanda pa rin naman or medyo may edad na nagta-try pa din, ba?
true.
So how do you start nga? I mean, like, ano yung proseso? So, hahanap ka muna ng employer mo or pag
Ay,
kunyari, gusto mo lang magtrabaho overseas, you just like go and then find a job like how we do it, jobstreet.com.
depende per country and then depende rin dun sa papasukan. During my time kasi, meron tinatawag na parang direct, what was the term? Direct hiring.
Okay.
So basically, you can find like a job, and then they will process your papers dun sa country na pupuntahan. And then once okay na yon, they will send you the documents, and then you will process your papers sa
Sa side
sa
mo.
sa Pilipinas, sa OWA. So once
Kailangan
okay na
talaga
siya, then you
register?
can find.
Like, do you have to
Yes.
really register to OWA? Like, for example,
Yes.
if I go to Australia and then I get work there as an actress, kailangan ko pa ring mag-register.
Hindi ko lang sure when it comes to like the actress. But like the mostly
Professional.
ng jobs, professionals, and basically the presence of OWA and then the polo and then the immigration is basically to safeguard everyone involved, the employers and the employees. Like kasi like for sa OWA, meron silang checklist. Like for example, they will check the contract and see if the contract will safeguard, like for example, the Pilipinas, they will safeguard the Philippines na pupunta na ibang bansa. Like for example, if something happens, sagot ba ng employer mo? Kailangan sagot ng employer mo. Kailangan you'll be given an allowance for housing or they will provide you housing. So yung mga ganon, chine-check nila
Mm.
yan. Tapos before nga, they have to check pa our house if it's conducive for living. May mga ganon
Okay.
sila. So
That's
so basically, yes. So
okay. Sorry, hindi ko kasi alam like ano bang, and it's good to know because I never knew what OWA really did. I mean, it's the Overseas Welfare, ano yun? Overseas Workers Welfare Association ba?
so
Agency.
Nakalimutan ko na, sorry po.
Sorry, bagsak ako sa social studies. Ano ba?
Gumana natin
Agency.
parang si HR.
Overseas Workers Welfare Avengers.
Pwede. X-Men pala yun.
Kasi hindi ko talaga alam what they're going to do. I know what it stands for, well, sorta, but I never knew exactly what they did for. And the credibility kasi is kind of lost na medyo pumasok si not chocolate.
You know, yung sagot sa tanong nyo kanina na when was it changed from OCW to OFW? Remember may fake news na kumakalat na walang OFWs nung panahon ng diktador. Technically, it's true na walang OFWs noon kasi ang gamit na term noon ay OCW. The term OFW was started after his regime. So technically, wala nga namang OFW, but merong contractual workers abroad. Contractual. So hindi sila pwedeng ma-permanent, hindi sila pwedeng magkaroon ng permanent stay. Contractual lang sila. So mas okay din yung ngayon kasi mas stable, 'di ba? Yun lang ang fact check.
Thank you for that fact check, Jillian Hero. I love it. Ding ding.
And then OWA is Overseas Workers Welfare Administration.
Okay.
Administration.
Administration. Yung A kasi
Administration.
daming Hindi Avengers.
Avenger.
No, but if that's what it's supposed to do, so I'm going to play the bimbo, the dumb bimbo, but if that's what OWA is supposed to do, well and good. Diba? It's an agency, it's part of the government that protects us and our interests, Filipino interests. So, sabi mo kanina para maprotekta ng Filipino, yung employee and to protect the employer also. How does that go about?
So, basically naman, kasi sila yung nagpa-process ng visa mo, working visa mo sa immigration.
Okay. Okay. And then,
So, sila yung, okay ba to? Credentials is good. And, so, saka namin, qualified ba siya? Yes. And then, as well as, they protect also their people. Ayan. So, ang kanila din, like, for example, they have to screen din kasi na parang, we have to make sure na it's fine if you give chances to other people from another country. Pero we have to make sure din na hindi nawawalan yung mga tao namin, like people here in Hong Kong, ng trabaho. So they will ask like, wala ba kayong mahanap dito na magtatrabaho for you? So ganun yung mga question. So,
okay.
wala bang qualified dito
Fair.
sa Hong Kong? Yes.
Fair naman,
so,
fair.
True. So, ganun yung parang alakaran. And then also, kung hindi naman direct hiring, which is basically yung pumupunta ka sa agents. So, which is most of our domestic helpers, DH in short.
DH, ha? Domestic helper. Yung
nakakagalit ang anak ng isang politician
na nagpupumilit din maging politician.
Politicians. Ayan.
Anyway.
So, like, yes, like that or other yung other jobs. So meron namang hindi direct hiring which goes through agencies na dapat din dapat dito registered under UPA.
Okay.
Just to, basically the same thing na kailangan napaprotektahan sila. Lahat ng yung agency, yung mga Pilipino na pupunta sa ibang bansa.
Curious ako, what about like taxes? Do you pay taxes in both countries?
For me, no, I don't. I don't pay taxes. Kasi ang alam ko,
sabi naman ng COMELEC di ba? Wala naman moral turpitude.
Mural turpitude. Charot! Suppose, kung di ako nagkakamali, once you're paying taxes already on the country that you're working on, Hindi mo na kailangan magbayad sa Philippines.
Okay.
Once you're
Okay.
paying already on the country that you're
Kasi kinakaltasan ka na di ba?
actually kami yung nagbabayad ng tax. Like kami yung nagpa-file, kami yung nagbabayad. So hindi kami kinakaltasan. You
Okay.
have to be ano ba yun? Basta kami yung bahala.
Self-sufficient. Parang sabi ng iba kong friends, unlike sa Philippines kasi, yung company, kakaltasan ka, tapos yung mga accounting department, sila yung mag-file. Abroad, you have to learn how to file your ITR, you have to learn how to pay your taxes. Dito kasi parang medyo may pagka-mad yung dating. Kasi nga, iaasa mo na every 15 wala kang gagawin. Abroad, you have to learn how to do everything, how to process it, magkano yung babayaran mo. Kaya, parang nai-stress sila kapag bayaran na, tapos nakalimutan nila, parang ganon. Kasi, hindi siya automatic na kinakaltas. Like,
Okay, wait. So, ilang years ka na dyan ngayon? On your own?
On my own. Charot. Tumatabi ka. Spaces ito, nakantahan. Broadway.
Broadway night pala.
Ayun. So, February 8 ako pumunta dito. 2015. So, I'm on my 7th year.
Wow, 7 years.
Yes.
What has
so I'm
changed?
qualified to
You're qualified to
now
be a
I'm
resident na?
resident na. So, I have to file my papers lang and then pwede ako mag-resident eh.
Nice.
Yes.
But what has changed from 2015 nung nandyan ka to now?
Mahaba na ulit bukas. Well, napaisip bigla, meron ba? Hindi. Ang ano naman yan, well, so far naman, yung mga, kasi I will still go back to the reasons why I went here on the first place. So basically, to learn more about veterinary medicine. And at the same time, para at least maka-LL naman tayo, makaluwag-luwag.
Wow, new term.
Yes,
Gusto ko yan.
yes,
LL.
maka-LL, makaluwag-luwag. So far naman, yun, I'm learning a lot already. And I've met a lot of people already. Both specialists, doctors, and then nurses and technicians na nasa veterinary field na really helped me in like learning more. And at the same time, actually, pwede na ako magtayo ng sariling clinic sa Pilipinas.
Yun.
Pero ano muna, kumbaga, dahan-dahan lang. Isa-isa lang muna tayo. And then,
get,
ano?
sarili mong vet hospital.
Sariling vet hospital. Yes, pwede. Marami na ako mga friends. Sabi, uy, umuwi ka na para na mag-gano na tayo. Sabi ko, wait lang, di pa ako masyado ready.
Do you get
kaya
lonely?
naman, kakayanin. Ako, yes. Yes. I mean, it's a huge lie if I say no. But ever since I started like college, syempre may nag-apartment na ako, hiwalay ako sa family. Although, Los Baños lang naman yun. And I live in Calamba. So, medyo malapit
Layo.
lang. Yes. And then may mga kasama ako sa apartment. When I started working na lang, so doon ako talaga nag-iisa and I live by myself. Medyo sanay na compared siguro to other people. But yes, nakakalungkot din at times.
How do you combat that?
Ayun. So, since, of course, dyan papasok yung mga interest ko and hobbies to basically fill up your time. May mga times na medyo, how do you say it, na binabury mo yung sarili mo sa work, which is fine, which is good, but only for a short period of time. You really have to find other ways to spend your time, especially like to the things that you really find like interesting and fun to do. So like for example ako, ah, nakabili na ako ng camera ko to go photography. So meron ng konti lang. And then I collect stuff. Hoarders pala ang dating. Tapos actually madami na
Marami
ako kasi
kang budget.
Tapos ang dami may mga like for example, so yung mga recent bili ko, so meron akong mga ano tawag dito? Yung mga pens para pang calligraphy. Fine. Tapos
Nice.
bumili ako ng recently ng mga weights and pang exercise since nga sarado mga gyms. So mga ganon. And then ang maganda dito sa Hong Kong, hi Hong Kong tourism, pwede niyo akong kunin. Charot. Maganda sa Hong Kong.
Oy.
So it's a very small place. Pero marami kang makikita. Like for example, if you want a city life, madami dito, which is Hong Kong is very well known for. But may mga hidden treasures. I wouldn't say
Yes.
hidden, pero may mga
Secret,
treasures na
nice
hindi
spot.
alam na marami. Oo, nice spots. Like one bus ride away, you can go to a beach kagad. Or you can go on the top of a mountain. Like you can go hiking and stuff. So madami ka talagang makikitaan dito ng pwede.
I love Hong Kong. Inimbita nila ako noon mag-hiking sa Dragon's Back. Sabi ko, neck nyo. Hindi ako ganun ka ano, no. Mamamatay ako noon. Dragon's Back
Actually,
yun eh.
actually yung Dragon's Back is isa sa mga pinupunta. So pag may mga friends ako, uy, gusto ko mag-hiking na hindi pa masyadong sabihin mo gamay mag-hiking but wants to try it. Dragon's Back is the way to go. Kasi hindi siya mahirap talaga, promise. It's a very short hike na mataas and then most of it was lang, it's halos flat lang talaga and you'll enjoy.
I went to meron akong pinuntahan doon na okay. One of our first dates ni esposo was a junk, dadalhin nga daw niya ako sa isang junk boat tour. So ako naman, excited, junk boat. Yun yung naiisip ko, yung lumang boat, ganyan-ganyan. Pagdating dun sa may pier, asan yung junk boat? Yate tong nandito. Oh, this is it. We just call it junk boat tour. Mas masama yung loob ko, why are you mad? Because it's a yacht. I don't want a yacht. I want a junk boat. Diba? Tanga, may pagkatanga ako eh. Pero yung pala, dinala kami sa ibang labas na, yung ibang islands na.
Yes.
Tapos mag-anchor down doon, magba-barbecue doon sa yacht, meron ng drinks, may DJ, may ganyan. So like, okay. So, pag enga-enga ka na, swimming ka na doon sa may, talon ka na lang doon sa may yacht, tapos swim ka sa ocean, tapos bigla mo marirealize, teka muna, open ocean to, yung mga pating dito, may chopsticks. Hindi. Diba? Gawin na, kakainin ako.
Kasi yan, yung junk boat trip. Actually, isa yan sa mga pastime dito. Although, since nga pandemic.
Pandemya, yun nga. But they have a lot of nice places. Yung Stanley Beach. It's just a bus ride away. Stanley Beach na siya.
Hello.
Where do you, like, do you have a group of Filipino friends there? Do you also have like a Filipino support group? May available ba?
Yes. So, for me, ako, so basic med, I wouldn't say malaki, but we have like hindi lang ako or like another person, yung Filipino sa work. Like, probably like more than 10.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, madami kami. And then, nagkakatrabaho din kami. So, it's not, sabi mo, it lessens yung chances na being homesick ka. Kasi you can talk to them in Filipino and then basically you share food and then, pero hindi na masyado ngayon kasi COVID ulit. And then you share food, Filipino food and so on and so forth. And then outside, yes, meron din. Although ako kasi yung tipo ng tao na hindi ako madaming kaibigan. Kasi sometimes I find it like really hard like to keep up with everyone. So I maintain like a small like group of friends. friends that I see once in a blue moon to like get together. Kapag pwede na, if the government permits, we keep in touch once in a while. So, yes, so, and it's really important to have those things, especially if you're working abroad. Like, naniniwala ako sa kasabihan na no man is an island. You need people. And it's, I mean, you can have friends na, of course, na taga dito or like me na foreigners dito sa Hong Kong. But, syempre, it's really nice to have Filipino friends. But, kasi iba pa rin talaga yung shared experience nyo na nakatira kayo sa Pilipinas. Na may common sense. Parang may common experiences kayo in living or basically kasi yung isang grupo ko ng friends dito, they're not tumira sila sa Pilipinas but they are Chinese.
Okay.
So simula bata hanggang paglaki nila, sa Pilipinas sila nakatira.
So parang Pinoy na yan. Chinoy.
Pinoy na Pinoy sila. Oo. Nakakatuwa nga. It's really
Yeah, no man is an island because man is a human. Check out.
Question ako.
Go.
May question ako. Paano pag may sakit ka? Kasi iba yung may nag-aalaga sa'yo kapag may sakit eh. So, ano yung nangyari? Ano yung sitwasyon? Paano ka ma-homesick? Parang gusto mo ba may nag-aalaga sa'yo kapag may sakit ka? Kasi di ba nandyan ka abroad, wala kang family dyan na pwedeng pumunta kapag may sakit ka or whatever.
So, kapag may sakit, I think doon nagsimula yung sinasabi na bawal magkasakit. Kasi mahirap, especially when you're living alone. Like for me, mag-isa lang ako. So, I stock like first aid meds dito. Like for example, for colds and fever. So, parang first aid lang. But even the place that I work with, nakalikot ng egg. The place that I work with, usually when dito kasi sinasabi nila na if you're not feeling well, might as well don't come to work and seek medical attention. Kasi whatever you're feeling right now, hanggat kaya mo pang maglakad papuntang pumasok, punta mo na sa hospital or sa clinic para check up ka. Kasi like for example, if ever it's something na nakakahawa, like for example, flu, it's better to be checked kagad. And it's better na wala kang mahawaan ng sakit. Kasi I don't want to say it sana, pero parang Filipino ano na kasi natin yun na, ay, kaya ko pang pumasok. Sige, pwede pa to. Kahit medyo masakit ang katawan ko. Pasok ako. Oo. Tapos biglang malalaman mo na, lahat may trangkaso.
Di ba?
Parang
Nasira lalo production.
Exactly. So, dito talaga in-encourage din, even your co-workers or employers, na parang, go have yourself check. And then, yun din, isa pa na maganda na may group of friends ka talaga or group of people that you can rely on. Kasi, one of the person, like, yung kasamahan ko sa trabaho na, like for example, recently, nagkaroon ako ng lagnat. Like, start of this year, January, nagkaroon ako ng lagnat. And then, of course, scared pa rin ng COVID. That was before the fifth wave na dumating dito. So sabi ko, papacheck na ako kasi nga, lagnat, sore throat. Although, I know deep inside na tonsillitis na talaga siya. Kasi I'm quite prone to bacterial tonsillitis. Tanggal ko na nga sana. But anyway, so pumunta ako and then tulik ako. So usually meron kaming group chat sa work that you tell everyone, especially your immediate colleagues na nakakatrabaho mo na, I won't be working tonight because this. So once na nag-message ako, like siya, message na ako na, hoy, kamusta ka? Okay ka ba? Sabihan mo lang ako pag may kailangan ka sa bahay or anything, tulungan kita. So, yung ganon. And then me as well, so parang hindi ko naman pwede sabihin yung medical ano niya. Pero yun nga, so parang sabi niya, mag-leave siya for medical reasons on the next month. So, kinamusta ko siya, sabi ko, kamusta ka na? Ano nangyayari sa'yo? Balitaan mo kami. If you need anything, just tell us. So, ganun. Maganda talaga na meron kang group of friends that you can rely on at those times.
But what if wala kang group of friends? Kakaumpisa mo pa lang, um, wala ka pang kilala. Is there like a place or meron bang like OWA? Will OWA provide support kunyari? Kasi I read online that online mental health seems to be the biggest concern among OFWs, especially sa mga places na malalayo sa Pilipinas. Feeling nila is they're being forgotten. Kasi ngayon yung silent heroes eh. They're the silent heroes but they also suffer in silence. Ang hirap lang. Do you know, ikaw personally, do you know of like a group or uh, a place?
Like I'm not sure about other contracts or other places of work. But for us kasi it's sad to say na the mental health thing, like the awareness for mental health is quite recent lang, like a few
Mm.
years ago. Or like mas madami na nakakalam compared to like let's say 7 years ago. So it's really nice. Like for me personally, like I work on a company that we have provisions as well, like included sa insurance namin, and we have like a hotline
But that's
na
nice.
yes that you can basically call toll free na you just state your name and then your company, and then you can call them any time of the day 24/7 if you're if you need anything, like if it's concerning like your mental health or anything that you
Any
really need
emergency.
help. Actually sinasabi din nila na you can call that agency if for example na ay kailangan ko lumipat ng bahay, I need help
Mm.
para maghanap. So I'm really um
Maghanap hindi
uh,
magbuhat.
Magba iba na
Lipat
tatawagin mo
bahay
na para
pala yun.
magbubuhat. Yes, oo. But yes, yun, I'm quite lucky to be in a company that has that provision. They take mental health like serious, and like na hindi siya parang an afterthought. I'm not sure now dun sa iba, pero well
We'll
it's
research
not.
on that.
Yes. Pero like for other stuff, like for me, basically when I like before I came here in Hong Kong, I researched already kung saan ang embassy ng Philippines,
Mhm.
kung
That's
saan ang
good.
immigration, saan yung place of work ko, saan ako titira, and then nearest hospital, just in case.
Good
So
tips
yun yung
yun.
mga ni-research ko. Oo. So part na pagpunta sa ibang bansa, of course, that you have to be prepared. And part of it is like the knowledge of like the place you're going. Especially yung mga lugar na uh, that you know na kailangan talaga.
Speaking of yung being handa. Usually handa ka nga sa ganyan. Um, what about like discrimination? You don't exactly prepare for that. Hindi mo naman napaghahandaan yung sarili mo sa discrimination eh. Have you ever experienced it? And if you
Um,
have, I'm so sorry that you have. But if you have, how did you deal with it?
okay. Like ako personally, hindi ako yung sasabihin mo na discriminated like on a very, wouldn't say demeaning way. But discrimination is demeaning.
Yes.
Always. Yes. But I've never experienced discrimination pa so far dito. Like for being someone from outside Hong Kong. Of course meron yan that people will think na, oh, Filipino ka. Like for like the way you walk, the way you talk. Although ako actually sa work, pag may mga clients kami, ang sinasabi nila na ah, hindi ako taga Pilip it's either taga Singapore daw ako or taga Thailand. Ito, ano Filipino? I'm a Filipino. Thank you. Yun.
Mas
So,
naman kasi
kina-clarify
sa
ko lagi.
local.
Ano na?
Mas nung mga nations na yun.
Ewan
Tsaka
ko
'di
ba,
ba
parang
yung
nakaikot na sila ng Southeast Asia pero
hindi pa
parang
rin natalaga na
parang the least
Pilipinas.
yung Filipino. Oo. But
Tsaka you
anyway,
don't look Filipino. What the hell am I supposed to look like, adobo?
sinigang. But ayun, never pa naman ako na-discriminate. I'm not saying na it's not out there since never siya nangyari sa akin. But so far with me, fortunately, wala pa. So,
Good.
yes, so but I hear some stories and rumors, of course. But I've never really like dive into it much dito. But pero more on may iba kasi na parang the usual OFW or domestic helper stuff that you hear na sometimes you get lucky with your you get lucky with the people that you work with, sometimes hindi. So sometimes nakakarinig ka na napagbibintangan or parang inaano ka, parang inaano ka. Yun ang naririnig kong stories. I would say it's true or not, pero yun, I hear stories. And that's it.
I think G, 'di ba ano yung majority ng mga OFWs natin, a majority of it are women, 'di ba? They're more women than men. I think
Um, 50% ang women,
ilang percent?
56%
56%. 56. That's a
are women.
huge disparity. 56% are women. And then a majority of them are, of course, domestic helpers or household help. Okay. Is there a future that you think paano ko ba sasabihin 'to? Um, yung nagiging ano natin export kasi natin are the domestic helpers nga eh. But we're also not considering the fact that we're having a brain drain. We're losing not just our women with the domestic helpers, but we're also losing our nurses. We're losing our caregivers. We're losing our teachers. We're losing all of these other roles na kailangan dito. Um, and as you've said, the reality is the finances are so much better by being an OFW or an OCW that you're willing to risk yung lungkot, you're willing to risk being away from the people that you love in a place you don't know with people you have absolutely no idea how they speak and how they are just to be able to provide dun sa family mo. 'Di ba? Do you think that this will change? Do you believe that there will be a time wherein we won't have to lose our Filipino workers? And if you believe in that, how? Sa tingin ninyo, how?
Ang politikong tanong.
Hindi, yun na. Sa tingin nyo ba magbabago pa? Or constant na to dahil pasok na siya sa GNP natin?
Go, G.
Um, the problem is with the way government deals with the pay discrepancy kasi our educators, our professionals, they're being paid one of the lowest in Southeast Asia, or in Asia. If the government would do something about quality of salary that our professionals get, we won't be exporting them to other countries. They won't need to go elsewhere for greener pastures because I think mothers and fathers don't really want to be separated with their families, but they have to because the pay is really at a minimum here in the Philippines. So if the government prioritizes dealing with the pay discrepancy or with changing the way professionals are being paid in the Philippines, I think they won't be going out of the country. They would stay here with their families. That's why sa gobyernong tapat, angat buhay lahat.
Correct.
Wala akong alam dyan.
Kay Lenny tayo.
Overseas Filipino workers are these countries' silent heroes who also suffer in silence. They are the instrumental force behind the rise and development of the Philippines. But they also face not so ideal experiences in their chosen or forced upon careers. They also face difficulties in coping with their work environment when things get stressful because they are alone in a foreign land. Marami pa tayong dapat pag-usapan at pag-uusapan natin yan sa susunod. Kung meron kayong mga tanong or gustong ikwento, send us a message through our website at www.usapangalaga.com or send us a message on Twitter at usapanga and sa Facebook page Usapang Alaga. Hanggang sa susunod na episode, I'm Jillian.
I'm Ian.
I'm Doc Tiane.
Halika, usap tayo.
Halika, usap
Usap tayo.